Hello friends, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me today. So I have a fun project today and we're going to do a little bit of distress ink smooshing. So I'm going to be using a few different products than I've used here lately, and let's get right to it. So let's change the view and take a look. All right, so the first thing you're going to need, or at least that I like to use, is a glass mat. And I don't really use this glass mat for anything except for ink smushing. You can also use like a silicone board or mat, you know, the ink blending mats. There's lots of different surfaces, but my preferred, I think I get the best results when using just a glass mat. I'm also using some distress oxides. Now you can use distress inks as well, but the colors that I have that I wanted to use for my project today, I actually decided to go with the oxides. And I have pulled a few inks as well, and we may use some of those for the second card. All right, let's take a look at the products we're going to be using. I am going to use the fun little Piggy set. That's for the birthdays. Let's see, Piggy's Crushed It is the name of that one. There is dies available for that one if you like to have dies to match your stamps. For the sentiments, I'm using, let's see, this one's called Boku Bouquet Sentiments. And specifically, I'll be using the Wishing You a Day Filled with Beautiful Things and You Are Just the Sweetest Thing Ever. And on the inside, I will stamp Happy Birthday on both of these cards. Now I am using this set just for this very inner die because that was the right size to fit my sentiments. Then for my outer frames, I'm using the largest one from this Shaker Maker set. It's this one right here. And for my papers, I'm using 2 or 3 sheets from the paper set Busy Bees. And that too, just because it had the colors that I, that kind of went with my little pigs. The paper that I'm going to be using today is Distress watercolor paper. But if you have other watercolor papers, that will work. Some people use like a Yupo type paper. I think it curls too much, so I prefer the watercolor paper, but any of those will work okay. It kind of depends on how much water you're using. Now I have gone ahead and stamped out my little pigs, and I went ahead and colored those up using Copic markers. Now I can list the colors that I used below the video. If that is something you're interested in, you can just put it in the comments and I'll go back and add those. I'm not one that really loves coloring on video because it takes me a long time. It would make my videos 10 times longer if I tried to color on them. So occasionally if it's a really small piece, I'll go ahead and color it on a video, but normally I choose to do that ahead of time. All right, so I've got 3 pieces here of the watercolor paper, and another thing you're going to need is a way to spritz water, or that's the preferred way, is to just spritz it on there. That way you can kind of control how much water you get. So I'm going to start with the fossilized amber. Just put a little bit of that down. Then I'm going to add in a little bit of the worn lipstick. Put that on. And I'm going to work with these two before I add any candied apple. So I'm going to go ahead and just spritz this a little bit here. Just get that ink moving. And I like to take a piece of just like, this is a scratch piece, and just kind of stir it together. I'm kind of wanting to get some oranges, so that's why I wanted to kind of mix a little bit of that. Now I'm going to take my watercolor paper, and I like to use the rough side. And I'm just going to blot it down in there. Take a look at what I've got and just keep going until I'm happy with what I'm getting. Now I can tell I want a little more of the worn lipstick in there. So go ahead and tap some more of that on. Spritz that. And there we go. Now I'm getting some of that worn lipstick. And just tap that around. So I think that is pretty good, because I want this first layer to be more on the pale side, and then we're going to add some darker spots after I hit it with the heat gun and kind of dry it a little bit. So what we're doing right now is just creating layers. So this is our bottom layer. So you'll have to let me know there in the comments if ink smooshing is something that you enjoy doing. You know, you never get the same look twice. It's always going to look a little different. And I think that's part of the fun. I enjoy that. It's important that you choose colors that are going to blend well. You don't want to have something that turns to mud, because it will do that if you get too many colors going on. I'm just going to add a little bit of that in. Maybe a little more of the pinky color. Again, I'm going to take my scrap and just kind of move those about a bit. I don't want to get straight lines, and the way I tapped my ink down, it's kind of in straight lines, so that just is going to help it be a little more random. Now I'm just going to tap down my paper and see how we're getting darker spots on top of our first layer. Oh yeah. Now if it pools on one, you can tilt your paper and get that to move. See how this up here is just kind of moving? I love that. That will make a really fun background. All right. Let those, you can turn it side to side and get those colors running. And I think that's pretty good. I think I like that for what I'm going, for the stamps that I'm going to use. All right, just going to hit that with my drying tool one more time to get the big off. And then we're going to switch colors and make a background for our second card. All right, I think that's good enough for now. We'll set that aside to dry on its own. And I'm going to do something that I never do. If I was doing this on my own, not for video, I would grab another piece of watercolor paper and I would make sure to get up all this wonderful ink here. But because we're on video and in the interest of time, I am going to wipe it up because time is more important to me than not wasting any ink. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the distress inks so that you can kind of see the difference. The oxide inks are usually a little softer. It's just like when you ink blend, the same way. See, it's a little softer. Whoops, I just accidentally dropped it. Hold on. There we go. And the oxides are softer, and the distress ink is going to be a little bit more vibrant. So, got to watch what I'm doing here. We're going to start with mustard seed, and on these, I'm not going to do the blue and the yellow at the same time, because we all know if you do blue and yellow at the same time, you're going to get green, and I don't really want green. So we're going to go ahead and wet the yellow. And one thing you can do, I'm not doing this right now, but you can wet your paper a little bit beforehand also if you want that ink to move around. So that's one thing you can do to kind of get them to blend a little more, is if your paper's a little wet, then that ink is going to move through the fibers faster. But for now, we're just going to get some of that. Now you can also, I'm going to save this because I really like that and set it aside. Another thing you can do with your paper, so far you've seen me just tap, but you can take it and kind of swoosh it through and pick up a whole bunch at once. See how that's it's just a little bit different look. All right. So we'll have two of these to play with. There we go. Now, before I move on, we're going to want these to be completely dry, or we'll get that green. So I want to add a little blue, but I want it to stay blue. So just dry this just a little bit. And I am making a couple birthday cards today. There we go. We want to get this good and dry. Now the one that I swiped through probably is less wet, so I'm going to go ahead and dry that one as well. So if we have one that bleeds a little, hopefully the other one won't, but I don't think so. It's pretty good. So I've had this card planned for quite a while, and there's one of the design team members that she and I just think alike, because at least 2 or 3 times I have an idea, and then within days of me doing it or days of her doing it, we do something very similar. So I've kind of had to chuckle a couple times because we just must be very similar in our thought patterns when we look at some of the products. So I thought that was funny. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, and this one is the Salty Ocean. I don't need a lot of it. I'm going to go ahead and just... And you know what? I think I want to kind of stir this one up again too. I'm really getting straight lines when I splotch it. So just going to move that around a bit. There we go. And that's just a piece of scratch paper that I have. All right. We're just going to blot that down. Now I'm getting some green where it's overlapping, but that's just looking through the opaque color. It's not really blending together to make green. So it's more like the blue is sitting on top of the yellow, and that's what I wanted. So that is okay with me. Let's see here. I want it right there on that corner a little bit. Let's see, can we get that? And then just a little bit here on this corner. So that's going to work for my card design that I'm doing, and we're going to go ahead and hit this with a little heat again. Now for the last one, I don't really have a card design in mind, so we're just going to drag it through there and see what we get. So sometimes the fun in ink smooshing is just doing something like this and seeing what comes out. You know, it's you can always use these panels to die cut things, which can be fun. Let's see, a little up in there, a little bit more. All right, we're going to set this one aside to dry, and I am sure that I can find a use for that. Isn't that fun? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my glass mat because we are done with the smooshing part. And we're going to bring out our other pieces. So here I have my frames that I have made. And again, I used that from the shaker maker, the largest one. And I just chose some pieces from our Busy Bee. And now I'm going to add my piggies. We're going to put the cake here with this piggy. And now let's see which ones of our backgrounds are going to go with each one. Let's see here. Here's our little piggy, and wishing you a day filled with beautiful things. Here's our blue. I'm just going to add our frame. Add our... All right, I like that just fine, but just to see how I like it this way, sometimes I like to just kind of try it both directions. I think I kind of like that better. What do you think? I think I'm liking the darker blue up there. We'll see. We'll leave it that way for now. And here is another one that I had done earlier that I am going to give a try under here. Ooh, I like that pink on there. I think I like the pink better than the orange. All right, and this one is going to say, "You are the sweetest thing ever." Now on this one, I'm going to try that another way, just to kind of turn it around. See, my color is heavier down here, and my sentiment can be up here where it's a little lighter. So I think I might like it that way better. Yeah, I think I will. All right. So there we go. I will make a sentiment for this one. And let's see. We've got the flowers. We've got your kind heart is like a blossom. Your smile is like sunshine on a cloudy day. Thank you for everything. and then the 2 sentiments. Let's see. Let's make this one a thank you for everything. This one won't be a birthday card. We'll make this one a thank you card. Now, we could do the cloudy day one. I don't know. Maybe wishing you a day filled with beautiful things. I think I like that one. I think we're going to go with that one again. All right. So ink smooshing is just a fun way to get a lot of backgrounds really quickly. They're always unique, and you compare them with just about any stamp. Okay. So I leave tomorrow to go on a retreat that's out of town. So I literally have all my crafting supplies all packed up and ready to go. So I dug out some glue, and hopefully it works. If not, this is how I'm going to lay them out and put my cards together. But if I can't get them glued down, it's because my normal glue is all packed up. I don't even have a tape runner that's not in a suitcase. So that is an unusual circumstance around here, but that's kind of what's going on today. Okay, and for this one, I'm going to go to this set. I'm going to see if my sentiment will fit in here. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to get it out of here, out of the packaging. There we go. Is it going to fit? Ooh, just, I don't know if it will or not. We're going to give it a try. Some tape over here. So when you die cut the one from the shaker kit, it puts the stitching on the outer piece instead of this piece. It puts it on the frame, like on the big paper. And I wanted the stitching on the sentiment if I could get it that way. So that's why, even though it fit better in the other one, that's why I kind of switched gears. So excuse my die cut machine over here. All right, there. Oh yeah, I like that stitching. It kind of goes with the stitching on the outside. And so there we have our 3 little piggy cards. And I just noticed ink smooshing can take a while. It's a lot of drying in between. So I'm going to go ahead and I will glue these up off screen. And I want to switch my camera back. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had so much fun ink smooshing with you, and I hope if you've never tried that, you'll give it a go. It's a very easy technique that's just fun, and it's always great to just see all the different combinations that you can come up with and get that different look each time. So, all right, have a great day. Keep on crafting, and I will see you next Thursday with another fun video from Whimsy Stamps. Have a great day. Bye-bye.